client. He's working on it.
Okay. And we're live. Hey everybody, welcome back to another Blinks live stream. Excited to see you. I already see Mike and Lee in the chat, so welcome back. Everybody else who's coming back, feel free to say hi in the comments. Today we're doing a special live stream. You might have noticed in our header that we're doing a Meet the Interns. And so I'm surrounded by a really awesome cohort. You'll probably see them popping up in the developer forum. But I wanted to give everybody a chance to meet the Move 38 crew. And so maybe I'll just let everybody kind of introduce themselves quickly. Should I give an order? Nah. Okay. Jacob, since you laughed, you're going first.
Hi, everyone.
Just introduce yourself with like, name, how you found out about Move 38, and a little bit about yourself.
For sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Jacob. I found out about Move 38. I feel like I saw the first Kickstarter along yonder back. I also was independently introduced to Troxels, so I kept finding Move 38 in my circle, and then I finally found this internship application and applied. And a bit about me, I just graduated from USC with a major in arts, tech, and business, and now I'm hoping to find my way making toys and maybe theme parks one day when they open.
Awesome. Theme parks, I feel like maybe we'll touch on that later. Growing up as a kid, I always drew the future home that I imagined building myself with a roller coaster in the backyard.
Of course.
So
yeah.
We'll have to talk about that in our next stand-up. I'm looking for help on that as well. How about we'll throw it to Nicole.
All right. Hi, I'm Nicole. I'm a rising senior at Parsons School of Design in New York City. I'm majoring in game design as well. And I'm also doing a little bit of like the design part in creating logos and all that for Move 38. And I found out about this internship through my professor, John Bruno. And yeah, he sent it to all of us and I just applied.
John's the best. John, you can also see some of his work on GitHub. He was participated in one of our game jams for Indiecade and created a really fun game called, I'm gonna blank on the, he changed the name of it a couple of times. I'm gonna look it up and then I'm gonna add it in the comments. But it's just totally raucous. It like shares a lot in common with the kind of gameplay of Astro. I should also give a shout out. John helps run Baby Castles, which is an amazing game cohort in New York City. So I think we're all missing the in-person get-togethers for the game community, but Baby Castles throws good ones. Good ones? Feels very Homestar Runner. Rob, how about you?
Hi, I'm Rob Canciello. I found out about Blinks and Move 38 at the Global Game Jam this year at the Microsoft building hosted by Playcrafting. I heard about the internship through, I work at a college and there was like a opportunities board section of job postings or internship postings. And I saw it and I absolutely jumped right at it. I love board games. I love video games. I love VR. I work in VR development and game development. But at home, it's just a mountain of board games. So the idea of mixing digital board game pieces essentially and creating that with virtual connections is what led me to this. So I love games of all types.
And how about Connor? You just joined us. Welcome.
Hello. Can you guys hear me?
Perfectly. In fact,
Awesome.
You might be the most equipped of us all. I see what looks like it.
Yeah, I do some live streaming on the side when I do game dev. My name's Connor Wolf. I'm a rising senior at Bradley University, which is in Peoria, Illinois, which is about halfway between Chicago and St. Louis. I feel like I always have to say that because Illinois. I'm a game design major, pursuing a minor in computer science. I heard about Move 38 actually through the one and only Twitter.com. And so I know Twitter's where a lot of game dev folks are more active or most active. And so I always keep my eye out on there for, posts, notifications about internships, cool opportunities. And when I saw the Move 38 application, I checked out the company a little bit, and I was super impressed with Blinks, and I really wanted to work with them. And so, I applied, and the rest is history.
So just for a little bit of context, we didn't really publicize this a lot, and don't really care to gloat about things like this, but this is really cool from a community standpoint. We had over 100 applications come in for this internship this summer. We had so many amazing qualified people, and if you're one watching who's applied and weren't selected, we're excited to open up opportunities in the future. It's just such an amazing talent pool. But Jacob, Nicole, Rob, and Connor, you'll get a sense, you'll see them again this summer as they continue to work, but just really stellar portfolios, creative open minds. And one of the things we talk a lot about, the core team at Move 38 talks a lot about right now, is growing our team as a diverse group of game designers, curious minds. And so, I just wanted to kind of put that out there that it's also super cool to hear that you each found out about it in different ways. I think that, Dan, I don't know if you feel this way, but sometimes I feel like when we throw things into Twitter or Instagram, it's like, who knows?
Yeah, I had a bit of an expectation that we would essentially just get like 12 applications from a school that Marty knew someone at, like that. I didn't really know what the application pool was going to be. And it really, I'm honestly very surprised, Connor, that you found this like on Twitter. Cause I didn't know that was like an avenue that we could actually benefit from. So it was exciting. And I think the other thing is that there's a bit of a, like, this is the upside to the quarantine, is that if there wasn't the quarantine right now and we were working in the office, Jacob and Connor couldn't be doing this, and we would have missed out on having them as interns because they're not going to commute a 6-hour flight to be interns. And
That better be a really good internship.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You have to stay at my house. But
carbon.
Yeah, and even Nicole, you go to school in New York, but you actually live outside the city. So yeah, Rob would have been the only person who could have actually made the commute, and we would have had this much smaller pool. And I'm really excited that we got to go really wide with this. We got some international applicants as well, which may be a consideration next time we do this, that we could have people with much more significant time differences than Jacob's 3 hours.
I should change my. It feels a little bit too patriotic. We'll go here now for our international viewers as well. Mortals is something we can all agree upon. I feel like, Dan, so the internship started, has it been 3 weeks, 4 weeks? 4 weeks.
This is the fifth week.
Fifth week.
Yeah.
And so I feel like last Friday was a blast going over kind of what everybody was presenting. Just to kind of put you on the spot about, like, tell us a little bit about, and kind of, this is any of the interns can hop in on this, like, share a little bit about what happened on Friday. What did you do on Friday?
Yeah, I mean, I'll briefly say that last week, me and the interns, we took our first sort of steps into designing and programming new games. Before that, we were working on some graphic stuff. We were doing tutorials, but last week was the first, pitch me an idea and make it. And yeah, the four of them, as I would love for them to describe, made four really different games. Yeah, I'll let you guys take it away.
Anyone?
I nominate Rob.
All right, I will go. So my game was, I brought it up on Monday, but it's a game called The King's Dilemma, which it's a flicking-based game. And what you have to do is you have to prevent your king from getting knocked off the table or the arena that you create, and while trying to knock off your opponent's king. The thing that makes it unique with blinks is depending on how you kind of assemble the blinks upon setup. Whoops, there we go. You have your central king, and then anyone around them becomes a knight piece, and then anyone beyond them becomes a wizard piece. And each piece can be flicked, but they also have the ability, each one is a different ability. So a wizard can be picked up and placed somewhere else on the board, but then your turn ends. And a knight can be flicked to another piece and then actually be placed underneath them, so that if someone flicks another piece into them, the knight moves and then the piece underneath them falls. So they're kind of meant as a defender piece. And it could scale up to as many blinks as you want. And that is the King's Dilemma, with the option to eventually add more rolls and different kinetic movements and things like that.
That's cool. I feel like there's a lot of, I feel like it's every other day we see somebody using the physical object of a blink in a way that it was like, haven't seen that done before. And I'm curious, for people to try at home with their blinks, the sliding of a blink, knocking a blink out from underneath. Does anybody watch the Penn and Teller Fooled show?
Oh, yeah,
I've seen
so
that.
much.
There's something about this that makes me think of like the magicians, and now the tablecloth is out from under you, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Actually, this was fun to discover. It's fun to see it, but if this is your king and you've got a knight underneath it and someone tries to attack you, they don't quite get your king. Like there's a sort of, the one underneath is the one that goes. I really like that. And theoretically, I'm imagining someone does this, and now who knows what that is, You've still got one. Yeah. So I've been having fun messing around with this mechanic.
It honestly works better than I would have initially expected. Like the top surface used to be, I'm so used to it being silicone from the prototypes, and silicone has a grippiness to it that we, for a couple of reasons, actually purposefully got rid of and replaced it with a TPE, a thermoplastic elastomer, that has like the flexible properties and the transparency of the silicone, but doesn't have the grippiness. So you can actually, it's nice that it just actually, I would have expected they would have held tighter. Good find. Who wants to present their game next?
I nominate Connor.
I like this
Thanks.
Popcorn Connor.
I accept your nomination. So my game is called High Noon, working title. It puts you in control of a rootin' tootin' cowboy. And what does a rootin' tootin' cowboy do but shoot? And so it's a 1v1 head-to-head game where you have essentially a line of blinks. Here, I'll show it on a small scale. You have a line of blinks where in the center you have the clock counting down to high noon. And when that clock hits, it's going to be a reaction-based thing where you have to spin your revolver, load up all your bullets, and then fire. And the first person to spin their barrel around and then fire is the one he's the sheriff around these parts.
Did anybody else watch Hamilton this weekend?
Obviously, yes,
Oh, yeah.
of course.
Yeah, just everybody in the world. Yeah. Oh man, it's difficult not to think about that and thinking about the duel.
Yeah, absolutely. I know there are a couple Blinks games that are more like head-to-head kind of thing, and I really enjoy that. And so, getting something in here that is a little bit reaction time, it's a little bit dexterity. It's something that I really wanted to explore with the Blinks. So I'm hoping it's fun for folks.
I feel like one of the first things that the Nintendo Switch launched with was a duel game, right?
Yeah, 1-2 switch. Yeah.
I like that. I feel like, I don't know. I can't speak from personal experience because I don't own a Switch, so I don't have. Has anybody here played 1-2 Switch?
Yeah, I have.
What are your feelings on it versus your Blinks duel?
Well, I think it's definitely that short, succinct head-to-head experience, which is what I wanted to sort of capture. Obviously with Joy-Cons, you have a lot more possibility. You've got motion controls, you've got 12 buttons on the thing. I think it's actually a little bit more interesting to give, there's that old saying, limitations breed creativity. And so, the idea of spinning the barrel around to fire is, that's fun. And I think you could compare it to something like that, like those micro games, that WarioWare kind of feel to it. So
that's cool. Jonathan West in the comments is saying, "Oh my God, so simple but so good."
Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, and I think Dan immediately he's like, "Oh, we don't have a game where you pull away a blink to create action." And I think actually from one of the earliest versions of Raid, there was a mechanic of like getting to choose your piece that just had a very satisfying So I like that this. It also reminds me of like pinball, the kind of pull mechanism to launch.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot there. All right, your popcorn.
Oh no, I have to doom someone. I will doom Jacob.
Yeah.
Without a moment of hesitation.
I've been working on this game called Wishbone, and I can show how it works right here. The blinks behave like a little wishbone, so it's a 2-player game. Both players hold on to the 2 handle sides, and then they're trying to break off the larger half of the wishbone. And it's like a very simple framework. We're just basically making wishbones out of blinks, but it's been really fun to play test. I've been play testing with my family, and it's not so easy the magnets are strong, but not that strong, and they're all the same power. So there is a fair amount of technique to always being able to win.
Yeah, and I will say that the other thing is that you're playing it up in the air, but you can also play it with 3 players on a table.
Yeah, like a 3-spoke.
Which is really interesting. Trying to get that, because then it's like the first person's out, and then they're gone, and then it's the next 2. But also, yeah, having played it recently, what you think is the best strategy right now, as you're imagining it, is not. Like, the way that the magnets work is somehow, it's not counterintuitive, but it is hard to calibrate. It's hard to make it happen consistently, and that makes it really. But it's not so. It doesn't feel random. It just feels like you did something wrong, which is very motivating because you're like, I'm gonna get it. And I felt it. I felt what I did wrong. I'm gonna not do that, and then you try something else and it's still wrong. And I really enjoyed that.
My favorite thing about seeing this on Friday was getting to see you, Dan, and Jen play versus each other. For everybody who watches the live streams and gets to see Jamie and I interact, I would say we're not even nearly as entertaining as Dan and Jen. So
It's mostly Jen. Jen also called all of us on our last phone call hill people, because we. So she's prone to that kind of thing. So yeah.
I'm not sure
because we didn't know the name of some game that she insisted was a pool game.
Right,
we all played it
right.
in gym, and she was like, "What are you, hill people?" Yeah, she's entertaining.
Fair enough. It's our term in the household is plebes. Plebes. All of which with some form of antiquated, maybe safe. Yeah. Speaking of making outcasts, ready? Nicole, you're the last popcorn kernel. I don't spoil anything about your game, but I really enjoyed it. I think I popped into the meeting on Friday right as you were presenting yours.
Yeah. So my game is Flower. I don't have, this blink doesn't work, but it would be set up like a flower. And basically the center doesn't do anything, but there will be bugs on the petals and you would have to click them to get rid of them. Similar to WAM, but I do want to add features such as like an external blink as a butterfly that could help heal the petals, and also adding bugs that are harder to get rid of by like double clicking or triple clicking. So yeah, it's pretty simple. That's pretty much what it was.
And there was some talk at the beginning about the, like, right now the center just sort of keeps them all separated, but there was also this idea that the bugs might make their way from the edge into the center, or that the center might be some sort of like I don't know how to explain it, like a desperation thing. Like you can press the center once and it'll clear all the petals, but then it's over. And so you're like, it's sort of like a last ditch effort. But yeah, I really like the idea of the wandering butterfly as part of this like construct, this flower construct.
I feel like games that like nod to nature with blinks have a really good, I don't know, they just have a very welcome home. Like with Honey, it's a very structured puzzle game. It's exploratory, but there's you essentially build a machine and it exists, it functions. But I feel like we're starting to see, Nicole, I think with your game, like the idea of these wandering bugs, the idea that I think also with we've brought it up a couple of times, the terrarium, like the idea that all of a sudden there's this pass through and resources are passing through from blinks to blinks just feels very, I don't know, I'm excited to kind of see these evolve, or metamorphosize might be more on point. So let's see, we've got a little bit of time left, but I wanted to, so those games were 1 week assignments, right? So you ideated the game, you prototyped it, you play tested it, you presented it to each other on Friday. One of the goals of the summer internships, well, there's a number of things. The one thing you can be certain of with a Move 38 internship is there will be like a list of things that are like, okay, these are the things that we're supposed to be doing this summer. And then you get in the door and it's like, by the way, I really love the artwork you make. Any chance you can work on some graphics for us? Or we really want to beef up this aspect of the developer forum. Let's go ahead and work on, like, there's a lot of moving parts in the startup. But one of the things that is an overarching goal of the summer internship is the idea of a capstone project. And Dan, do you want to kind of introduce that real quickly with your experience?
Yeah, so when I was an intern with Move 38 2 years ago, we made various small, medium-sized games as a group of interns, and a few of them we some of them organically, some of them on purpose, sort of decided to push to a level that it could be published. And if you're watching this, you own Blinks, you own like the core set and the expansion. Off the top of my head, Puzzle 101 was built initially by me and another intern, Vanilla, and then I went on to make the algorithm that makes automatic puzzles. Widgets was a group project initially to sort of propose, just John needed something for a game jam. Hey, can you make the Blinks do a handful of things? And then later I took the pieces of that and built widgets. And the big one really is Wham. So there was a meeting we had early on in our internship where we literally said, what are games in the real world that we would like to see on Blinks? And Wham started as one of those ideas. And we worked on it as a group. We came up with ideas for graphics, for how to implement them. And then at that time, there wasn't like an official sense that we were making a game for the platform. So we didn't finalize it during the summer, but I kept all the notes, I kept all the development, and then I finalized it with John some months later. And so in designing this internship for this summer, I really wanted to repeat that experience of actually making a game that was going to get published. So right now, and we just had our first like official meeting about it yesterday to discuss what the interns are interested in, both mechanically, narratively. I can't think of any more adjectives. But yeah, we just started to have a conversation about what kind of game the four of them would be interested in bringing to the platform. You know, obviously, all of you have developer kits and may continue to develop your individual games, and those may get published as well. But sort of on the calendar is we really want the four of you to make one team game. So yeah, we just had our first conversation about that yesterday. It was really great. A lot of interesting ideas, a lot of points of inspiration, you know, things like this. Yeah, I'm excited to talk about it more in the coming weeks.
So I figure we'll bring y'all on, and I think, in fact, we'll try some of these out where myself and Dan don't pop in here. I think all of our interns are better live streamers than us. We're working our way into it. You can tell from Connor's microphone that he's already got pro status, and we're gonna have to work on your background there, Connor. It feels, you know.
I will say I did download Zoom client literally 20 minutes ago. So
so that's next on our.
You're not using it right now, but Connor has a webcam that is like has directorial algorithms.
I actually am using it. It's just that Zoom blocks it.
Oh, okay, good. When I just one-on-one chat with Connor, every time he moves his head, like there's a Quentin Tarantino whip pan. And it's very
What?
It's really just call
tracking.
Connor randomly one-on-one on Discord and you'll experience it.
Yeah, as an introvert, I will appreciate that.
Nicole has the winning real world background with glowing lights and festive. I think every time I hop on one of these video chat meetings, I'm like, I know I'm getting judged right now for my room. I know it. Taking meetings with like world-class game designers, and I'm like, I know the bed didn't get made this morning. Well, let me there's some really great comments in the that you're probably not all seeing. And I just want to read them out real quickly so we get them, just this feedback. So much excitement about the games, what everybody's coming up with. A lot of potential, a lot of cool potential there in Flower. Love the Flower game. Lots of compliments coming in. Also, people are excited to see what you are all doing with Move 38, doing more with Move 38, as are we. And this, Brian suggests, Connor, that your background is in fact just a green screen.
Yeah, it's all elaborate. These shadows, this is actually, I've choreographed everything.
If anybody is looking for some amusing Zoom magic, I think another recent Kickstarter had some really great Zoom magicians on. If you look up Magic Puzzles, they were had a really great set of live streams. And let's see, I'm trying to think. Before we round up, I wanted to maybe, you all have been scanning the forum and what are some things that are on your mind lately that you're seeing people, popping up on your feed that you're excited about on the forum or from the community? I'll let anybody take that and you can popcorn it or just interrupt each other.
I tried out this game concept called the Dragon's Lair, which is super cool. And I've been seeing some people on the forum who are programming for Blinks without having their developer Blinks yet. They're just writing code, and I'm so dang impressed by that. There was one called Fidget Blink, which is like 6 mini games in one on one Blink, and they wrote it all without programming a Blink with it. So, and I think that's so cool because now I'm on that chat and there's some other people on that chat who are offering to like download that code and play through it and do bug reports to the person writing the code. So I that generosity of time that I'm seeing other people give and help like everyone be able to develop for Blinks, even if they don't have the developer Blinks yet, is a really, I think, special behavior in this community. So.
Yeah, I agree with Jacob. I think it's really impressive that the Blinks have been able to inspire people so much that they are willing to create things without like their developer Blinks or without a clear goal in mind. They're able to experiment like that Fidget Blink game that you mentioned, Jacob. I was reading a little bit in the forum and I find it very interesting. He created that sort of as like a playground or like a joke to just see how he could flex his muscles coding wise. And I think that is the sign of a product that is like above the rest when somebody gets it and they're just like, yeah, I just want to play with this.
Nicole?
I was looking at the game Terrarium. And it's like, I was really impressed. The documentation is really well done as well. And when I was looking through the videos, just because I didn't have enough Blinks to really play through it, it was just, I don't know, it was just really well thought out. And I liked the connection between like how water can also like do this to the dirt and grow plants as well. And I'm like, oh, that's so cool. Because like I've been playing like Stardew Valley. And so I'm really into just like nature games now and just planting stuff in games. So it was just a really cool way to see it through Blinks. So yeah.
I have to say, since quarantine started, I feel like I've really enjoyed seeing the games people are sharing. I don't know, the games community is always good at sharing. But I feel like there's been a very collective response to specific games, be it AOC creating an island and help me out, Dan.
Oh, Animal Crossing?
Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing, right.
Yeah.
and just like the different ways. I'll be curious. Ishmael's been playing games remotely with different customers on the customer calls, and just like, you know, maybe for our next stream, one of the things we can do for a goal is games that we can play remotely over the over Zoom, because I think that one of the ones that gets played over Zoom a lot is like Flip Bet, which is real easy to, you know, you don't need to have the blinks in the same place. I think anything with kind of, as long as you don't need a truthful state for both sides live updating. But I think we can also figure out how to hack around that too. So
Competitive WAM.
that's pretty sweet. I feel like a lot of the games that we're starting to see pop up will result in like keyboards being broken. But you know, for the love of the game, it happens. Rob, that's right. Well, I think this has been really fun. I think everybody's had such a good time. I mean, there's lots of comments here in the thread. For our upcoming streams, we're of course on every Tuesday and Thursday. You know, everybody just briefly talked about some of the games. All of our interns briefly talked about the games that they're working on. But as the capstone project and those games come together, we'll continue to do these. And if you're not in the forum, now's a great time to join the forum. Everybody's in the forum and happy to chat there. And also through our social media channels as well. But if you have questions about really just about anything, I think everybody at Move 38 is always happy to hear from people and respond. And while we do respond as individuals, I think it's a collective group that feels pretty strongly about the same kind of values. So you'll get a nice warm welcome from just anybody. And I think without that, I'm just going to tease next week. Do all the interns know what's happening next week? With like a sort of like, I'm going to like drum roll. I can't.
Yes, I don't remember what you're talking about, but I'm sure I'll remember it when you say it.
We've got some exciting news coming next week. There's lots of games coming up on the forum. You've been seeing some previews of games. And I'm not gonna spill the beans just yet. But for those of you with blinks out there, your sets, we're gonna try and boost them. So I'll leave you with that. And all of the interns have been contributing to these boosting efforts. So I'm excited to share that as well. I think I should just give my final sign-off notes, which are, if you don't have blinks and you're watching this, it's not too late to get them. In fact, it's the perfect time to get them because we are just, I guess this has been shipping for like 3 months. So you can get your hands on core sets and expansion sets before they sell out. And then we've got more inventory coming on the way. New small boxes that are going to be arriving in August for all our international backers concerned about shipping. And I think the only other thing to say is definitely come and join us every Tuesday, 1 p.m., Tuesday and Thursday, and subscribe down below. And thanks to all our wonderful interns for, oh yeah, everybody do the point.
Just down here. I think on my screen it's me. I get to be the pointer.
That's
Smash that like button.
smash that like button. That's
Make
right.
sure you hit the bell to get
The
notifications.
bell, get notified. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So thanks so much everybody for joining in, and we'll see you next live stream. And yeah, if you're waiting on blinks, can't wait to get you your blinks. Peace. I think, are we?
I still am getting the notification.